We continue our look at football teams, the Fultondale Wildcats. Jake Hogan, the new coach, after they go 2-7 last year. He comes over from Hoover, the run game coordinator, as his first time as a head coach, and he's brought an energy to this team. Let's hear from Fultondale and the players. Jake Hogan, first year from Hoover to Fultondale. Why was this job right for you?
Well, I just feel like the ceiling's really high at Fultondale. I think that you've got everything that you need as far as a very diverse housing market, new facilities, lots of revenue, and then ultimately a lot of young, talented players. You know, I think that's something that was appealing to me when I went over there and I first met with Mr. Pryor and the administration. The first thing that I wanted to, obviously everything, the facilities and everything, you know, that speaks for itself. But what I wanted to see was, you know, the middle school program, the 8th and 9th graders and everything. And I felt really good about it. I think that even on down into the youth part over there, I think that it's a place where if we're able to keep everybody together and continue to grow them and get just, you know, there's been so much adversity at Fultondale with the storm and the busing back and forth from Warrior and everything. I think that if we're able to kind of solidify that and create a little bit of continuity, I think that we've got a chance to not only win for the long term, but also make a great impact in the long term. So I just felt like it was a good fit. I felt like it was a great opportunity.
And it sounds like you are thinking long term when you're talking about feeder schools and all that, which is probably how you want to think.
Well, you know, as Bear Bryant said, there's two types of coaches, those that have been fired and those that will be. So obviously a lot of that's out of my control, but I'm a firm believer. I feel really good about the staff that I've been able to bring in. And one of the things that we talk about is we coach every day as if your job's on the line and as if you're going to be here forever. You know, like we're always talking about tomorrow, and I think that if you can take that attitude as far as development, one of the things that we talk with our players about is don't focus on being good, focus on being better. And I think that when that becomes your nature, I think it makes everything sticky, and I think that it ultimately sets you up for having long-term success. So,
what did you find when you got there, player-wise, talent-wise, better than you thought, or you got? Of course, you got work to do everywhere, but
sure. I think, you know, we had a couple of move in, a couple of move out, but what we were able to find is that I think that all of us came in and established a work ethic, you know, and that the big thing that we want to make sure that we're focusing on is that we don't want to go out there and roll the dice. We want to feel like we've earned victory, and I think that that's what they've bought into, and that's what I've been most pleased with. And it wasn't necessarily deficient when I got there, but I do feel confident and good about the growth that we've had in that area.
You got a new coach coming in, new deal. What have you seen from him? Because he's got to sell you guys on him and how he wants to do it.
He always expects the best out of us. You know, he'll always push us to our limit. Every day, you know, every day is a day to get better. Like, you're not gonna, with him, you're either gonna get better, or if you're not getting better, I'll say it like this: if you're not getting better, you're not trying hard enough. And he holds us to that standard to where we're gonna get better every day. He wants 110% out of us every day, all day. So.
We're young. It's not that we're not talented or nothing. It's just that we're young, and we kind of have to build them up. Like, we have to build the younger guys up to be more mature, and things that they might not think is important right now, it's important to the upperclassmen, and we have to get them on the same page that we do. So it's not a lack of talent. It's just a lack of maturity a little bit. But everybody's going to get there.
Finally, what do you see? You got some seniors, and what do you see offensively, defensively that, okay, we're pretty good at this, but we got to be better at this?
Well, we're very young. We've got a small senior class. The majority of our talent and our players are going to be in the 9th and 10th grade. So we're going to be playing a lot of young guys, but we're fortunate that it's not untalented young guys. Offensively, you know, we're having a young quarterback, Caleb Parker, that's coming in and taking the helm, and you know, obviously we're going to have to. The style of offense that we run kind of hinges upon him being a good decision maker. So because of that, when we put that amount of freedom into his arsenal, we've got to be willing to accept the consequences of it. So there's going to be growing pains there. We're fully aware of that. The biggest job offensively that we've got is to make sure that we protect him and not put more on him than he can handle. And you know, I think that we've got playmakers. We've got two kind of bully type backs that we feel like are going to be able to get downhill and be hard to tackle. And then I think that one of our strengths is our receiving core. So it's going to be a matter of using one to complement the other.